So very recently I started watching Outlander, the TV show. One of the main reasons I just started watching it now in 2021 is because so many people were telling me about it, saying that I sound like one of the people from it. Since I moved to Canada, my accent is obviously a little bit of a novelty here. And yesterday I binged about an entire series in a day. But it got me thinking, there are loads of TV shows and movies out there where there are Scottish accents. And it's not 100% of the time that the Scottish accent is from a Scottish actor. So I thought I would maybe break down some of the most famous Scottish accents from TV and movies and rate them and see how good they actually were. Hi friends, my name's Cameron Gibson and welcome back to my channel. If you're not new here, then hello, welcome back. And if you are new here, where have you been this whole time? Make sure to hit the big red subscribe button just so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Alright, let's get into it. So I thought I'd start with Outlander, the show I've been watching at the moment. Now from the few episodes that I've watched so far, a lot of the accents are actually really accurate. I believe this is because most of the actors in it are Scottish, and I actually know a few friends from back home that have performed in Outlander as extras as well. Again, what prompted this video in the first place was this exact thing. Since I moved to Canada, I've been getting called Jamie Fraser a lot. I had no idea who that was, so I thought I should find out.
It's Fraser. James. Alexander. Malcolm. Mackenzie. Fraser.
You don't look that heavy. Now, if you won't walk, I shall pick you up and throw you over my shoulder.
Now this is interesting because a lot of this is based in the Highlands, up in Inverness and Aberdeen and around that area of Scotland. And every area of Scotland has their different accents, but this is spot on for that area. It's what us lowlanders, us people from like Edinburgh and Glasgow would call chuchters, where they talk like this a little bit. It's a bit of that Doric accent. So they make their vowels quite open and big. Honestly, watching Outlander for the first time, I'm surprised that more North American people don't need subtitles for it. But yeah, Jamie Fraser has a great accent in this, 10 out of 10. I love this so much.
May I present to you my spy in the Ministry of Defense? Fat bastard. Wait a minute. He kinda looks like a baby. Come here, I'm gonna eat you! I'm bigger than you, I'm higher in the food chain! Get in my belly! Come on!
This is Mike Myers playing Fat Bastard in Austin Powers. Mike Myers has an incredible Scottish accent. I'm sure he must have some sort of like Scottish in his heritage. Obviously he's dialed this up a little bit to be a bit more funny and because it's comedy after all. But I think this is a pretty good Scottish accent so far. Again, I love the stereotype of Scottish people that this plays up, being big, kind of a little bit grotesque. Really crude as well. Absolutely a stereotype in Scotland. The accent's pretty good too. Get in my belly. I give this an 8 out of 10. Braveheart. So the kind of classic Scottish accent in movies, if anyone ever meets someone like me and the Scottish, usually they quote Braveheart. Also, because my surname's Gibson and I'm Scottish, a lot of people used to, when I went abroad on holidays, say that I was like Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson is not Scottish, thank goodness. I'm not sure he's a very good human being. We don't claim him.
What will you do without freedom? Will you fight?
I mean, honestly, this is not a great attempt at a Scottish accent. It's okay. He kind of does the bare minimum, like he rolls his R's, like a lot of Scottish people do. We roll our R's.
Aye. Fight and you may die.
That there as well. Fight and you may die. It was a little attempt at it, not great the way he did it. And he leaves these massive gaps between words, which is not really what Scottish people do. In general, us Scots love to kind of squish everything together. I know I certainly do.
Run, and you'll live. At least a while.
He kind of mixes his dialects up a little bit as well. I think he's got a bit confused while he was being coached here. He's got his Glasgow dialect in there, as well as a kind of Highland dialect that you hear in Outlander.
To that, for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
Again, he misses the mark a little bit here in the most iconic part of Braveheart when he says, they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom. He doesn't roll the R on freedom very much, which all Scottish people absolutely would. Side note, if you do happen to meet a Scottish person on your travels, don't quote Braveheart at them. It's the worst Scottish film to be quoted at as. There's way better ones. Top tip, quote Trainspotting, you'll get extra points. All right, so this is Star Trek Into Darkness, and it's Simon Pegg playing Scotty. Simon Pegg is actually English, but from memory, he has a pretty good Scottish accent. He's a great actor, all in all.
No, I'm not signing anything. Now get these bloody things off my ship, Captain.
Is there a problem, Mr. Scott?
Aye, sir. I was just explaining to this gentleman that I can't authorise any weapons on board this ship without knowing what's inside them.
Now, aside from this being just a great film with a great cast with Chris Pine and Benedict Cumberbatch, as well as people like Carl Urban and Simon Pegg, an incredible cast, Simon Pegg's accent is pretty good. He uses words like canny, which are kind of very iconic for the Scottish accent, but uses them correctly. He kind of chops the end off of the word, which we do a lot in Scotland.
Due respect, sir, but photon torpedoes run on fuel. Now, I can't detect the type of fuel that's in the compartments on these torpedoes because it's shielded. Now, I asked for the specifications, but he said...
It's classified.
It's classified. So I said, no specs, no signature.
Yeah, his Scottish accent is really good, actually. The word signature is quite hard to say with a Scottish accent, and he absolutely killed it there. I'm so close to giving him a 10 out of 10 for this, but at the end of the day, it's not perfect, so I'll give him a 9 out of 10.
Are you enjoying yourself?
So this is from Outlaw King, the Netflix show all about, I believe it's Robert the Bruce, another famous historical figure from Scottish history, and actually played by Chris Pine as well. Now, I've never actually seen this film, but I have seen the trailer from it, and from memory, his accent wasn't great in the trailer, so we'll watch this scene and see how it goes.
Was this her room?
Yes. Thank you for enduring what you had to tonight. I'm sure it was difficult.
So straight away, I'm not quite sure what he's trying to do here. It's almost like an English person doing a Scottish accent, but he's American, so I'm not entirely sure. It gets very, very lost. I'll listen a bit more though.
That was quick.
Aye, well, you'd know plenty about that, Seamus.
So actually the accent of the extras there at the end was really, really good, really authentic. I would hazard a guess that they are actually Scottish though. Let's try and find another one. That wasn't a great clip.
It is our feudal duty to provide fighting men for our overlord, King Edward.
You assured us these obligations would be over.
I'd hope they were.
So again, I'm really sorry, Chris Pine, I love you as an actor, but your Scottish accent is shite. He's really struggling with the words that he has to roll the R's in. He's rolling them a bit too much in some places and not enough in others. You can tell a mile off that he's not Scottish, and unfortunately, the extras in this, the side and supporting characters, overshadow him massively. The little scream from the crowd there you heard from the supporting actor was really good, really authentic, like a kind of Glaswegian accent. Chris Pine, you get a 3 out of 10. All right, let's see what's next. Groundskeeper Willie from The Simpsons. Now, before we start, I remember watching The Simpsons growing up and thinking that Groundskeeper Willie was hilarious. Obviously it's a cartoon, it's a comedy, it's meant to be kind of funny. It's meant to be a caricature, it's meant to be a kind of stereotype. But this looks like it's from a fairly recent episode, so I'd love to see how it's aged.
Decide once and for all if Scotland should declare its independence. Now, both sides of this argument have valid points. The freedom-loving heirs of the Highland tradition and those who enjoy crawling like worms beneath British boots. The most recent polling shows that we are split 50-50 on the matter, and I am hesitant to throw my support to either side, be it the right one or the obviously wrong one. Also, I would like to say a few things to those who are sceptical of Scottish independence. Scotland is the home to 2/3 of Europe's oil reserves. Notice how in no country rich in oil do the men wear pants. We also make a fine damn whiskey.
So other than the fact that Groundskeeper Willie's political commentary there was absolutely spot on for the time of Scottish independence referendum way back in 2014, his accent's pretty decent. Again, I know it's meant to be comedy, it's meant to be a caricature, he definitely plays it up a little bit. Misses the mark on a few certain words.
Also, I've lived in America most of my life, so I've seen firsthand how not to run a country.
Like right there, the word country, we would say country. We'd say country, country, 2 kind of syllables there. Groundskeeper Willie, you get a 6 out of 10. All right, last but not least, my personal favorite, it has to be Shrek. If my memory serves me correctly, Shrek is Mike Myers as well, who played Fat Bastard. So I'd imagine they're similar accents. He was pretty good. I think I gave Fat Bastard like an 8 out of 10.
To put their heads on a pike, got a knife, cut open their spleen and drink their fluids. Does that sound good to you?
No, not really, no.
For your information, there's a lot more to ogres than people think.
Shrek is one of my all-time favourite films, genuinely not just because he's Scottish, but because it's hilarious, quotable, and just an all-round great film. Fun fact, when I was a kid and we went on holiday to places where there was a kids club, all the kids used to call me Shrek because I was the only Scottish kid there in a sea of English people, and at the time that was their only real reference for Scottish people was Shrek. I didn't love the nickname, but it is what it is.
No!
Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
No! Layers! Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers? You get it. We both have layers.
Onions have layers. Ogres have layers.
Layers. Oh. You know, not everybody like onions. Cake! Everybody loves cakes. Cakes have layers.
I don't care what everyone likes. Ogres are not like cakes.
You know what else everybody like? Parfaits. Have you ever met a person you say, hey, let's get some parfaits? They say, hell no, I don't like no parfaits. Parfaits are delicious.
No! You dense, irritating miniature beast of burden!
Also, fun fact, that was my favourite insult for about a year. You dense, irritating miniature beast of burden. Absolutely fantastic. And again, if you watch Outlander, some of the insults in there and some of the turns of phrases are incredible. A great example of how us Scottish people love to use analogies and metaphors and things like that. Last night when I was watching Outlander, one of my favourite ones was they were in a church, I think, and he said, "It's colder than a witch's tit in here." Again, Mike Myers with Shrek, he's got to get a 9 out of 10 for this. It's an amazing accent, it's an amazing film. Even if he does trip up on a few different words, he gets the extra points just for being an absolutely incredible voice actor for Shrek. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. Let me know in the comments if there's any other movies or TV shows that have Scottish accents in them that you would like me to have a little look at. One of my favourite things is catching a terrible accent. Again, Chris Pine, we're looking at you. As always, stay awesome, and I will see you in the next one.